get this all put back together. Patrick Parsons was kind enough to come over, and he does a lot of welding for a living, welding and fabrication, and he said he would do this since he had a lot more experience with the fine, precise, and the really critical welds. And he did a really great job on it. Did better than I could have. And so we're going to get it placed in here. Set the pan on. We'll put a little slab of silicone on here too, and then we're going to put it all in place. I am going to go ahead and order the other part. Even Pat recommended that. He said this is going to be great, and we're going to go out riding, and we'll ride and ride and ride, and one day this thing's going to break. He said, so go ahead and get the other one when you have the extra money. And I'm going to do a complete video on that company. The guy's name or handle or nickname is Radram. I believe that's it. Rodram. R-O-D-R-A-M. So we're going to go ahead and get one of these, and the next day or two he's going to send me some information about his company, the company that fabricates these. We're going to find out exactly what he makes and what all he can do for an 820. So the guys that have 820 or have he may be able to do other ones as well. This is machine work, so that's pretty affordable. So if you're curious, that video will be coming up, but this is getting too long right now, so more to come in just a second, guys. You lift up this first bar here and slide it around, and there's a slot or a recess for this to fit, and you just kind of center it and get it put in place, and it fit in there really, really well. Oh, there's Edward. Damn cat. And what I'm going to do, I'll take a little bit of this grease, run it across the top. I'm going to put the check ball in once I get everything on, and I just don't want it to start connecting dry. So there we go, and the check ball holds everything in place when you shift the gear, so it doesn't slide out from second to first or second to reverse. So that is good, and once everything starts turning in here, it will really start getting lubricated. I'm excited to see how this thing is going to do, and I'm going to get started putting the cap on here, or the cover. Got new silicone put on. It's all getting tacky and goobed up. One thing I will mention, the bolt that fits inside this hole is a fine thread. Do not lose this bolt. If you do lose it, you might have, if you have a bunch of old carburetors laying around, you might have one that will fit in it. If you have like an old opposed twin carburetor, something like that. I went ahead and put a little bit of silicone on this to tack up. When I put it all on and get everything in place, I'm hoping that'll hold it a little bit, and I want it good and tacky, so I'm going to damn near dry. So we'll get that all squared away, but I want it to make sure and hold. I was going to show you something else real quick. So if you do, yeah, here you go. So if you do have a few of these, put them in a little Ziploc or a little cup or something and set them aside somewhere, because you don't want to lose those guys. Because it's a pain to find threads that match on these. Alright guys, I'm going to let it tack up, and then we're going to set the cap on. Okay guys, got it on there. I would recommend to everyone, if it slides on there with no problem, it's scary. There's a problem. What always happens to me. I've never had one go on just perfect and no problems at all. I ended up having to put a little bit of lube on the shaft so it would slide down it and not cause a problem. But the RTV gasket silicone didn't get messed up too bad. It should be in place. Somebody had asked me also what model number this was, and I told them I thought the tag was gone, but I found it. It is an 820 028A, and Peerless 418-20769 is the rest of the numbers. So in case I ever need it, I can watch my own video. Now we're going to go ahead and put the check ball in before I forget. start cross torquing these bolts in because it is aluminum. We don't want to break any corners off. More to come, guys. This is the check ball. This is the spring. Don't lose these. What you want to do, put the check ball in first, and then take the spring. The spring is going to apply tension to it. Then we're going to take this plug. It's going to be a 3/16 Allen. We're going to put it in. I'm going to start screwing this guy down. And we're not going to get god awful tight on it. I'm going to get it right down at the surface. This is going to actually apply a lot of tension to that shifting fork, and it's going to help hold you in gear. If you're in first gear, it'll keep you in first gear, second, third, fourth, whatever. But this will keep you from being in fifth gear and accidentally hitting the shifter and it just sliding all the way over into reverse. So this will help hold the transmission, and you can adjust it while it's in there. Just put it slightly below the surface. If anybody has any better ways to do it, mention it below. I'm sure there's a 10 or 15 better ways to do it. Now, okay guys, now we got the pulley on here on the input shaft, and there's a couple of things to note when you're putting this on, when you're taking it off actually. Know which one is the top side and which one is the bottom. Make a little mark, make a little scribe on it. Do it with a Sharpie, with a screwdriver. Etch T on it, because as my luck is, one side is always going to be a little offset. One side is going to be higher than the other. And this, the way it sits like this, where it almost looks like it's upside down, or it is upside down, this is how mine sits. Also went ahead and took a file, went around the edges of the input shaft. This is just stuff to make it easier for next time. And just kissed the edge of this to take off the rough stuff. Went ahead and did these as well. The shafts for the wheels, and I'm also going to put anti-seize on here as well, because that one right there, I had a lot of trouble getting that off. And I've been greasing it every week, and we've been riding through a lot of shit, but it still was hard as hell to get that tire, get that rim off that axle right there. So going to do that. Just about finished up. Gonna let it tack up another few minutes, then we'll throw it in there. Now, more to come. We're back, and I've gotten it put in place, and I've been checking it out. Had to do a little bit of adjusting and tweaking. It looks like that rod is going to work really good. I'm looking for a flashlight, and of course I don't have one. Oh well, let's see. Maybe you can see. This is the factory linkage that would go to the rod that's right there, and it works really good. I had to adjust it a little bit, and I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to put the tires on it. I'm going to let it sit and then finish it up tomorrow, but did want to show you we got all the gears. I do hear a little bit of clunking inside it, and I know what it is. It's the input pinion gear. I looked at it, and it was not worn, but I have a little bit of play. You may be able to see it, and you may not. So that is what's causing the problem. I don't recall leaving off any washers. I didn't take the pinion out from the inside. I just took the top pulley, the input pulley, off. So I'm going to look at it and see. And it wasn't doing it before. It may be I just left off a rubber washer that goes under there, and if it is, I'll just take the damn thing out and do it again. But I'll ride with it some too. So, see if we can get this cranked up. That's a nice push button start. Okay. Got the clutch on. That's reverse. Neutral. First. Second, I think. Well, you can see it's got all the forward gears. There we go. There's that clunking noise. So, that's it.
Gotta cut it off before I kill myself. Been a long day. Y'all go make some mayhem, guys.